I have been collecting trophies on the PlayStation for almost 15 years. My first trophy was late 2008 on Resistance 2. I've currently got over 200 Platinum trophies, but the PS3 has been my favorite platform to earn trophies on, and honestly, my favorite PlayStation console of all time. So in today's video, let's talk about the journey that has been Platinum hunting on the PS3. Now let's keep this in mind, I'm still trying to earn PS3 Platinums, I'm not done yet. I've recently bought a lot of different PS3 games that I sort of missed or glossed over, games that are a little bit like a hidden gem, because unfortunately I can't play everything, so there's some great games that I may have missed, so I'm trying to go back now and catch up on the ones that I did miss out on. So let's start off with my first ever Platinum. So all the way back in 2010, the game that started it all is not one that you would typically associate with trophies, but it is Ashes Cricket 2009. The 23rd of January 2010 is when I got my first ever Platinum, and basically I was playing this game. I'm a huge cricket fan. I was playing this game and I was getting trophies on it, and I was like, man, I'm getting pretty close to getting all the trophies on this game. Maybe I should try and get them. Maybe I should try for it. So I remember looking up a guide online on some of the different ways to get some of the harder trophies in the game. What are some easier ways to make things happen? You know, and I looked it up online, looked up some guides and gave some tips and tricks, and lo and behold, I got the Platinum. So my first ever game, honestly, very easy Platinum, but this was kind of the one that really sparked it all for me. I got this Platinum and I went, man, what other games have I got that I can get the Platinum on? Now, as we look through my games list, not everything is in order because, you know, I may have played it or got a trophy a little bit further along the way, but let's start down the bottom. Some games we missed out on, you know, some of these Mortal Kombat vs DC or the UFC game, we're never getting that. Need for Speed Undercover, too many online trophies. Resistance 2 was the big one that I missed out on, 90%. I wish I had got this because, as I said earlier in the video, this was my first game that I got a trophy on, and I couldn't get the 10,000 kills in time before the servers shut down. At the time, I only liked playing the co-op. I didn't like the online. It wasn't until I started getting into MW2 and these other games that I really got a love for that. I didn't have a good enough internet connection to play online. So I couldn't get the Resistance 2 Platinum. I ran out of time, but definitely one of my favorite games of all time. Medal of Honor, I did get the Platinum on. Now that was an interesting game. I even made videos on this game back on my old channel. I enjoyed this game. It was underrated. It had its issues, no doubt about that, but in 2010 I scored that one. Some other games, Heavy Rain, I only rented that out for a weekend. The disc and my save file corrupted. That was the end of that. I was never getting that. GTA 4, way too hard for me at the time, and even probably still too hard for me now. If this game came out now, I probably still would say no. There are some games you just say, nah, look, it's not for me. Killzone 2 was another one. Some of the trophies in this were ridiculous. Not only was the campaign pretty tough, I didn't finish on the highest difficulty, but getting the online rankings was ridiculous. Some of the trophies back then were brutal. Hey, at least I got the Killzone 3 done. I loved this game. Graphically, that game was so ahead of its time. It was brilliant. Really, really fun. You can see Little Big Planet. Sometimes you just get a trophy that just eludes you, right? And that was getting all the prize bubbles. I was so close and getting every mission done without dying. There was a couple of missions that just were too hard for me and I just gave up, and I think I lost my save file. Burnout Paradise, I got this one done. I got very lucky that randomly one day, I got a lobby where everyone was willing to go into the stadium and get that trophy where you have to get 8 people in the stadium at one time. I got so lucky with that. I even did the Burnout Paradise remaster as well. Uncharted, definitely one of my favorite series of all time. I've done Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4. I did Lost Legacy. I think I've done every Uncharted game other than the Vita one, which I'm still trying to get around to doing at some point. I wanted to get there. Infamous, I loved Infamous, but I just didn't do the extra playthroughs that I needed, and I didn't want to get all the shards either. I missed out on a few, and it was just so annoying. In Infamous 2, similar situation. I just didn't do the second playthrough for whatever reason at the time. I had so many games back then, and I was very much into online gaming around this time period, which, what was this, 2011? Yeah. Moving on, God of War. I didn't do God of War 1, but I did God of War 2. I do still have God of War 1. I'm considering doing it. But God of War, again, one of my favorite franchises. Borderlands, I wasn't a huge fan of Borderlands 1, but I did the platinum, play it with my best friend, we had a blast, but I think Borderlands 2 was definitely the better of the two games. Bad Company 2, man, what a game. How great was Bad Company 2? Never played Bad Company 1, but I got Bad Company 2 in 2010, played it in 2011. I mean, that was one of my favorite shooters of all time. Crysis 2, man, I got close in Crysis 2. But I just couldn't quite get there because, you know, you get a few odd trophies. I did some single player trophies I didn't get, but that's mainly because I couldn't get these online trophies. This one here, play 6 months after your first time, that was glitched for me. I'm pretty sure I did it after 6 months after my first time, but it didn't work. And unlocking all the weapons as well. Of course, you can't go back and platinum most of these games because the servers are shut down. Red Faction Armageddon, that was good. Chains of Olympus, yeah, another God of War game. This is definitely like the Chains of Olympus was really, really good. The spin-off, the PSP ones that they put the trophies on were really good. Crysis 1, great game. I think Crysis 2 was probably more fun for me, but I still enjoyed it. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Now, I did finish this was the first Assassin's Creed that I ever platinum. I did end up getting Assassin's Creed 2 done, but that's many, many years in the future until we get there. Uncharted 2, as I mentioned earlier, again, one of my favorite series. Saints Row the Third, my favorite Saints Row. Isn't it a shame what happened to Saints Row? I mean, Saints Row was really that rival to GTA. It was so different, it was so fun. I loved it, I really did, but man, Saints Row, the new one, I haven't played it yet, but I've got it. It's sitting there in the backlog, but I just can't bring myself to do it. It just seems sad. Mass Effect 2, here it is. Couldn't do it on Insanity difficulty. To be fair, I never really tried. I just kind of did a few hours in. I just didn't want to play the whole thing again. I did get the Mass Effect remake, the trilogy that they did. And look, I played the first Mass Effect. I never had played the first Mass Effect, so I went back and did that. Didn't like Mass Effect 3, not enough to get the platinum. Anyways, some of these other games, look at this, GoldenEye Reloaded. Oof. Man, I played some games, right? Like, I played some pretty bad ones. EA Sports MMA, my rarest platinum. Now, you can't get this platinum anymore, the servers are shut. And you had to basically do these online trophies where you had to basically be an absolute god to get this done. You had to beat everyone, get XP. Well, what they did when their servers were shutting down is that they were giving out like way more XP per win. So I just played it until the servers went down, and I got the trophies 2 or 3 days before the server shut. I think it's one of my rarest platinums of, definitely my rarest platinum, but one of the hardest platinums to get. But it was fortunately a lot easier for me when I actually did it. Fallout New Vegas. I love Fallout. It's one of my favorite games. I think I did a few of the playthroughs I needed to do. I think I might have needed one more playthrough. Some of these trophies, I'm like, man, why didn't I get this? Why did I not do that? But yeah, I think I might have needed 1 or 2 more playthroughs and I would have had that. Just didn't bring myself to do it. Terminator Salvation, man, that sucked. Assassin's Creed Revelations. I loved, like I said, loved Assassin's Creed 2, loved Brotherhood. Revelations, not so much. The Darkness 2. If you've never played this game and you've got a PS3, play it. This is what I would say is a hidden gem, and this is a big gem. This game is literally awesome. It is really, really fun. Such fun combat, decent story. I wish the Darkness 1 had trophies, otherwise, if it did, I would have got all of them because I really, really enjoyed that game so much. Section 8 Prejudice. Fun fact, I was actually writing a trophy guide for this game, but I never got the platinum in the end. I just couldn't be bothered to do the rest of it, but yeah, look, some games you get close, as I said, and some others, not so much. Shout out to all the wrestling fans out there. Here's a WWE game, Legends of WrestleMania. Incredibly easy platinum. Very, not many trophies as you can see. Very, very easy. God of War 3, I couldn't do it. I couldn't beat it on Titan mode. Could not do it. So I did miss some Gorgonized as well, which kind of put me off a little bit too. But yeah, I had to kind of go back and do another big playthrough. Never did. Ghost of Sparta. This could be like nearly one of my favorite God of War games. I mean, as I said earlier, I love the PSP versions. Ghost of Sparta. What a surprise, but what a really, really fun game. Another WWE game, WWE 12. Yeah, got this one done. I don't think this one had online trophies. Could be wrong, but yeah, pretty simple. I wasn't a big wrestling fan in this time period, but this was sort of the game that got me back into wrestling. And of course, I created my channel for wrestling videos around 2013. So that's one of the games that kind of got me back into the WWE. Dead Island. Well, Dead Island, I actually only just recently finished Dead Island Riptide, but the first Dead Island, a lot of fun, really excited for the new one. Spec Ops The Line, I wouldn't say this is a hidden gem, but this is definitely one of the best games I've ever played in the PS3. The story of this game is unbelievable. Honestly, the choices you have to make, the journey that it takes you on, it is so incredible. And not only that, it is so freaking hard. That campaign nearly beat me. I'm pretty good at shooters, but that campaign kicked my ass. But such a great game. You have to play that if you've got the opportunity to. Rugby Challenge. Rugby games are so bad, and I surprisingly did that. Ashes Cricket, as I said, like surprisingly it ended up this high. I must have played it years after I got it, but there it is again. Sleeping Dogs. Again, I wouldn't say a hidden gem, but one of the great games of the PS3. This game was fantastic. Came out a little bit later in its life cycle, but definitely worth the playthrough. I was surprised by it. I did not expect it to be that great, but I really loved it. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I love Smash Bros. Didn't really love that. Dishonored. Love Dishonored. Finished Dishonored 1 and 2. And here it is. MAG. One of my favorite shooters of all time. I really tried to get this platinum. Unfortunately, the servers are shut, game's dead. I really did. I did all 3 factions, got them all to 60. I was trying to get those medals. I really tried. I just couldn't get it done. I really wish I had have. That would have been one of my proudest platinums ever. I just couldn't do it, unfortunately. Far Cry 3, probably the best Far Cry of all time. Army 2, yeah, not bad. Not great, but not bad. Dragon Age 2, this game gets a lot of flack. A lot of people don't like Dragon Age 2. Guys, I'm telling you, Dragon Age 2 is really good. I loved it. I really did. Assassin's Creed 3, yeah, it was okay. Not great. Little Big Planet karting. This is one of those games that is very rare in terms of platinum percentage, but is really easy. Like, it's like 4% people have got the platinum or something like that. And it's actually really easy. I don't know why. I guess people just didn't want to do it. Here's a few of the Telltale games. Walking Dead. Loved The Walking Dead. Great game. International Cricket 2010. Went back and did this one a few years after I did Ashes Cricket. Again, love the cricket games, so I had to get that one done, surely. Darksiders, I didn't get that one done. I don't think I enjoyed it enough to go for the platinum. And sometimes, look, in this video, you'll see that there are some games that I don't get every platinum done, I don't get every game done. It's because sometimes they're just not fun, they're just not worth it. And definitely back in this era, and I still have this issue, but definitely back then, I used to just kind of go from game to game to game. And I didn't sit down and just finish each game until it's finished. I'm trying to do that more now. I'm trying to fix myself now in that issue. But certainly back then, I would just kind of play a game and come back to it a couple of years later if I wanted to. Uncharted 3, there's another one. Hitman Absolution, awesome game. Just recently did Hitman 3 on the PS5, and Hitman games just keep getting better and better. Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 2 is my favorite shooter of all time. Modern Warfare 3 was a bit of a letdown to me. London 2012, man, I was close. I think I lost my save file when I was trying to get the platinum. WWE13, again, I was close. Didn't do the online trophies. I have no interest in ever playing online wrestling games, and I never will. And that's pretty much all I needed was online trophies, and I did not want to do it. Couldn't bring myself to it. I just don't find them fun online, honestly. Bit of a cold streak here where we didn't get any platinums, unfortunately. Our next one was Saints Row 4. The collectibles in this game nearly broke me. Over 1,000 collectibles, I think it was. This was one of the weirdest games I've ever played. I talked earlier about how much I love Saints Row 3. Well, then you go from that to Saints Row 4 and you're just like, what the hell happened to this game? Sound shapes, speaking of being broken, my god, this was one of the most infuriating games I've ever played in my life. Death mode may be some of the hardest and most... It's just kind of luck. It's really luck based, but my god, I'm surprised I didn't break any controllers when I was playing this. I was not good. That nearly broke me. And not only did I do the platinum, I went and did all the DLC as well, because you get all these silver trophies, and this was back when getting silvers and gold trophies was a little bit harder to achieve. And I did this one in 2012, so a little bit earlier on than some of these other platinums. WWE2K14. I finally got this one after a while. I had to go back and do the online trophies. Probably one of the best WWE games of all time. And then you got 2K15, one of the worst. My god, not good. Monopoly Streets, that was decent. Far Cry Classic was okay. Sims 3. I'm still considering going back and finishing this. I got a few things to do, but I'm very, very close. God of War Ascension. Now we're talking about some games that I did recently. This was 2018. I say it recently, but it's 5 years ago. But yeah, some of the games that I did not that long ago. Ascension was probably one of the worst God of War games, probably the worst, but still worth a play. Monster Jam, not a great game at all. BioShock Infinite, again, another game I went back and did. I started it, loved it, and I just couldn't get past a certain point in the game. Eventually I went back, did it, and got the platinum. Wonderful series, really was. And here it is, Assassin's Creed. Here we go, my first ever trophy for it, Christmas Day 2009. Got the platinum in 2018. So it took me a while, nearly 10 years. Reason being is I couldn't be bothered to do the feathers. I think I also missed one trophy in Chapter 7 where you have to kick some dude when you're flying around. Yeah. Modern Warfare 2, did it in 2010, but it's one of those games I still go back and play whenever I can when I want to play a hacked lobby. Isn't that fun? World at War. It was a game that I borrowed off a friend in 2011, and I didn't actually have the game itself until I bought it years later. I wanted to challenge myself and get the platinum in this game and do the campaign on Veteran. I will say this, the Veteran campaign, it's unfair. It is brutal because you just get grenades thrown at your feet constantly. There's nothing you can do. So you're hiding behind some great cover. That's wonderful and all. How about a grenade just to force you to run away? Yeah, tough platinum, but it's one of those games, if you're a shooter, you like Call of Duty, it's one of those ones you got to tick off your bucket list. LA Noire, good game. I, for whatever reason, just didn't do it at the time. I went back and did it 9 years after I started it. It was ahead of its time in some of the ways that, it had, the conversations and the interrogations and that, but it was a little bit boring in terms of gameplay itself. Rayman Origins, another game that's, it's frustrating, but it's not as bad as Rayman Legends. I did Rayman Legends and then went back and did Origins. So I was fully prepared on how to play this game and get good at the game, because I think you got to be pretty good to get it done. Godfather 2, Hidden Gem, wonderful game. I'm a huge Godfather fan, love the mafia genre in general. This game was truly a surprise. I did a lot of it, took me a while to finish it off, but I did that last year and I had a blast. I would say that would be one of my top 5 hidden gems on the PS3, for sure. Prototype 2, did this last year as well. Decent game, wasn't amazing, it was a bit of a slug. And here it is. If EA Sports MMA was my rarest platinum, this might be my second. Greg Hastings Paintball 2. This game sucks. It is awful, but it is so freaking hard as well. Fortunately, I started this and I had 1 or 2 trophies to go. This one here. This one eluded me. You have to do every level in the game on hard. And the AI in the game is dreadful. The game itself is dreadful. But fortunately, years later, I read a way to make things a little easier. went back and I did it. I had to do the whole game again because I lost my save file. So not only did I have to do the whole game again, I had to do it again on hard difficulty. So I had to play this game twice. So in total, nearly 4 times in my life. 4 times too many. Terrible game, but a freaking great game to have on the platinum list because I think it's very rare. Dante's Inferno, amazing game. If you like God of War, you're gonna love that. Driver San Fran, got the platinum done before the servers went down. Interesting game, really interesting game. Good concept, fun game. Motorstorm RC, fun little game. Lollipop Chainsaw, I talked about earlier about buying some games that are hidden gems. This one sort of considered it. Pretty expensive game to buy in you know, this current times, but yeah, not a bad game. I wouldn't say it was amazing. I think it was decent. I would give it like a 5, 6 out of 10. I know a lot of people like it, but yeah, it was okay. The platinum was a little tedious as well. Shadows of the Dam, by the time I finished my 3rd playthrough of this game, I was ready to just throw it away. And pretty much I did. Once I finished it, sold it, never thought about it again. It was okay. Again, like these are some of the games I bought knowing that they're hidden gems. I never played them before, never heard of them before, and they were okay. Eat Lead was another one. Generic shooter, just kind of shoot enemies, go to the next spot, shoot more enemies, go to the next spot. The story was kind of interesting. I didn't mind the story. It had some interesting characters in there. It was like a parody of a game. Yeah, it was kind of fun. Resistance 3, I love Resistance. Never finished Resistance 3. I did trophy guides, videos on this, but never actually got the platinum. And I went back last year and finished it off. As I mentioned earlier, Dead Island Riptide. Not a great Dead Island game, but it got done. Wanted Weapons of Fate. Again, another sort of generic shooter. It wasn't as bad as Eat Lead. It was more fun than that. It was solid. And Alice Madness Returns. I didn't like this game. I did not like it. It was kind of weird. It was just kind of boring. It just took forever to get anywhere in the game. So it was a bit of a grind. And Fear 3, this game surprised me. I really enjoyed this one. It was fun. I never thought I would enjoy Fear 3. I kind of just got, yeah, you know, Fear, kind of the horror sort of genre. But it was more of just a shooter rather than horror. I kind of went away from what Fear used to be. And yeah, it had some harder trophies as well. Having to get the scores in different levels was pretty tough. But overall, pretty fun. And the last platinum I've got, Dead to Rights Retribution. I got that late last year as well. Another game I got thinking, yeah, hidden gem, let's give it a go. It was okay, nothing too special. But some of the other ones I'm definitely working on right now is X-Men Wolverine. This game is good. As I said, if you like God of War, you know, Dante's Inferno, and even X-Men Wolverine Origins is really fun. And that's my next platinum I'm gonna get. I'm very close to it already on the PS3. But that is my PS3 platinums. I've got a fair few of them, and I'm gonna get some more. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot of games I didn't get done. So who knows if I'm gonna get some of these ones done, like GTA San Andreas. I'll get around to it. Assassin's Creed Rogue, I'll do it sometime. But there are some that you'll just never get, like Far Cry 2. Servers are shut, can't do it anymore. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I love getting platinums. I love trophy hunting. It's one of the things I love to do with my gaming time. I'm definitely going to do some more platinums in the future. And if you guys want to see more videos about it, let me know in the comment section down below. And what was your favorite platinum you've ever gotten on the PS3? Let me know. Thanks guys for watching. See you next time.